I think it is incumbent upon you
Ms.
in
Dean,
all of this
I asked you a
legislation
question, and you said
You're a
that
gun dealer. We
you
all
would
know it.
yield
You
to a
just
question.
never- you
So
just-
would you please
Yes.
answer my question? That's all I'm asking. How do you come up with 48%? I
Are
come
you
up with
afraid to
24%.
say that you own 2 gun shops?
Ma'am, I'm asking a question, and I'm asking you to answer. How do you come up with 48%?
Hey, fellow patriots. Welcome back to the channel where we cut through the noise and get to the truth. Today, we're breaking down a wild moment from a congressional hearing about the ATF's budget. You won't believe the back and forth between these politicians. And trust me, as a proud Second Amendment supporter and someone who believes in limited government, I've got a lot to say about it.
Pleased to be here on this committee, but I'm disappointed, sadly, with the bill that is in front of us. There's so much that we could be talking about, and so I associate myself with the ranking member's comments, with my colleagues' comments on this side of the dais. So I thought today I would just focus on ATF. The mission of ATF is to, quote, protect the public from crimes involving firearms, explosives, arson, and the diversion of alcohol and tobacco products, regulates lawful commerce in firearms and explosives, and provides worldwide support to law enforcement, public safety, and industry partners. This bill proposes a budget for ATF of $1.2 billion. It is a $418 million cut, a 48% cut to ATF. ATF, who has fewer than, I think, about 5,000 employees, 2,500 are special agents. This would require the cutting of at least 1,000 positions, and ATF, we all know, is already overworked and under-resourced. So I'm absolutely puzzled by that. ATF plays a vital role in assisting our federal, state, local law enforcement in investigating, preventing, and prosecuting violent crimes. ATF makes America safer. For example, the National Integrated Ballistic Information Network, or NIBIN, is a critical tool for solving and preventing gun crimes. It allows law enforcement to link shell casings from different crime scenes and connect recovered firearms to previous shootings using advanced imaging technology. ATF's gun tracing program, E-Trace, is a vital tool for state and local law enforcement, not only to help solve individual gun crimes, but also to uncover and disrupt larger firearm trafficking. Through the E-Trace program, agencies can submit recovered firearms to be traced back to the first retail purchaser, generating critical leads and intelligence. Some of the provisions in the bill that are perplexing to me, perhaps I don't fully understand them. Page 133 of the CJS bill, section 5568. None of the funds made available by this act may be used by ATF Demand 2 program unless ATF modifies the program. Let me read to you some more other puzzling things in here. None of the funds made available may be used for a gun buyback or relinquishment program. None of the funds made available by this act may be used to fund or implement any red flag or extreme risk protection laws. That's just a few. Let me try some more. None of the funds made available by this act may be used to pay the salaries or expenses of personnel at ATF. None of the funds made available, here we go, none of the funds made available by this or any other act may be used to classify, register any firearm with an attached stabilizing brace or other similar brace or rearward attachment. More and more and more in here about what the ATF can't do, what our funds cannot do that would protect and keep us safer. I simply don't understand that. Why would we cut half of the resources of ATF? Why would we want to eliminate, reduce, or limit the tracing program? Why is that? ATF keeps us safer. Could someone please explain to me how this is possible?
Will the gentlelady yield for a question?
I will yield for a question, Mr. Clyde.
How do you come up with a 48% cut? I don't come up with that. I come up
Mr. Clyde,
with a 24%
I have a question for
cut.
you. Do you
No,
have a
no, I'm asking you a question, and you said you would yield for a question.
Yes, I saw
So I'm asking the question, how do you come up with a 48% cut?
I'll tell you, but I want to ask you a question as well. While I'm getting you that answer, do you have a pecuniary interest in guns?
Ma'am, I'm waiting for your answer to my question.
Mr. Clyde, I think it is incumbent upon you
Ms.
in all
Dean,
of this
I asked you a
legislation to.
question, and you said
You're a
that
gun dealer. We all know it.
yield
You
to a
just
question.
never- you
So
just-
would you please
Yes.
answer my question? That's all I'm asking. How do you come up with 48%? I
Are
come
you
up with
afraid to say that
24%.
you own 2 gun shops?
Ma'am, I'm asking a question, and I'm asking you to answer. How do you come up with 48%? I don't think it's possible. It's not 48%. I
Take a
just
look.
want to get the record straight, all right, as to what the actual
Clyde.
cut is.
Mr. Chairman.
Please.
Mr. Clyde, I'll be happy to get you that. I can dig it out of my resources here. Now, would you answer my question? Do you own 2 gun shops? You have a pecuniary interest in this legislation. Are you going to recuse yourself from a vote?
I asked you a question. I'm waiting for
I
an
told you
answer.
I'd be happy to get that to you and to your staff.
That's fine, but I'm still waiting.
Mr. Chairman, would he like to answer the question? I have a point of order, Mr. Chairman. I have a point of order. If a person on this committee has a pecuniary interest, a conflict of interest in the legislation, should that be disclosed?
The point of order is not entertained. Any other members wish to make
I'm sorry,
remarks?
Mr. Chairman, I did not hear your answer. And I have a correction that I'd be happy to give Mr. Clyde.
Time of the gentlelady has expired.
She's trying to answer his question.
She may proceed.
Come up next, I'd be happy to yield her,
She may proceed.
if that's fine with the chair.
Yes. Do other members wish to make opening remarks?
You can correct me. You correct me for Mr. Clyde, and then maybe I'll get an answer to his question.
I would like to have a chance to make a statement, Mr. Chair.
Gentleman's recognized. For 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I yield the gentlelady 30 seconds.
I made a mistake, Mr. Clyde. It's a 48% to a portion of the ATF funding. It's an overall, is a 25.7% cut, 1,000 positions. And now will you answer my question?
So let's set the stage. Representative Maine from the left comes out swinging, upset about so-called devastating cuts to the ATF. She starts off by claiming it's a 48% budget cut, and then, after some pushback, admits it's actually more like 25.7%. Already, we see the classic tactic: inflate the numbers, push the emotion, and hope no one notices when you walk it back. But we noticed. Now let's talk about the ATF for a second. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. These are the folks that, time and time again, have overreached and trampled on the rights of law-abiding gun owners. Their job is supposed to be protecting the public, but all too often they end up harassing small business owners, targeting honest citizens, and, let's not forget, pushing for restrictions that have nothing to do with actual crime prevention. So Representative Maine goes on about how ATF is overworked and under-resourced, and how these cuts will make America less safe. But here's the thing. Throwing money at a federal agency doesn't magically make us safer. What makes us safer is respecting the Constitution, empowering local law enforcement, and letting responsible Americans exercise their rights without being treated like criminals in waiting. She tries to tug at the heartstrings by talking about the National Integrated Ballistic Information Network, NIBIN, saying it's critical for solving gun crimes. Listen, no one here is against solving real crimes. But the ATF's track record? Not exactly stellar. Remember all the times they've botched investigations, or when their rules change with the political winds. How about the millions of law-abiding citizens who suddenly become felons because of a bureaucratic interpretation? That's not public safety. That's government overreach. Representative Maine also gets all worked up over the bill's restrictions. No gun buyback programs, no red flag law enforcement, no spending money on reclassifying stabilizing braces. And you know what? I say good. Gun buybacks are a waste of taxpayer money and don't actually get guns out of criminals' hands. They just take them from folks who follow the law. Red flag laws? A nightmare for due process. Stabilizing braces? Just another excuse to turn millions of Americans into criminals overnight for owning accessories the ATF itself said were legal for years. Then, things get real heated. Representative Clyde, a Republican who actually owns gun shops, calls Maine out on her math. She dodges, she flips the script, and then, get this, she tries to claim he shouldn't even be allowed to vote on the bill because he has a pecuniary interest. That's liberal code for we don't like you, so sit down and shut up. Let's be clear. We need more legislators who actually know what it's like to run a business, to sell firearms legally, to navigate the maze of federal bureaucracy. Not fewer. The real conflict of interest is when career politicians with zero experience in the real world try to write laws that affect millions of Americans. And the point of order stuff? Just more procedural games to avoid answering the real questions. How many times have we seen this? When they can't win the debate, they try to silence the opposition. Here's my take, folks. The ATF doesn't need more money. It needs less power and more accountability. Cutting their budget isn't about making Americans less safe. It's about stopping unelected bureaucrats from making up new rules that trample our rights every time there's a change in Washington. If you want to reduce gun crime, support local police, secure the border, prosecute criminals, and stop letting repeat offenders walk free. Don't punish law-abiding gun owners and dealers who are the backbone of America. Representative Clyde stood his ground, and I respect that. We need more patriots in Congress with backbone, not more bureaucrats with blank checks. So, to everyone out there, stay vigilant. Hold your representatives accountable. Defend your rights, because the Constitution doesn't protect itself. And never, ever let the left guilt trip you into giving up your freedoms for the illusion of safety. If you agree, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe for more no-nonsense truth. And as always, God bless America, and God bless our Constitution.